Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. My name is Andrea Epi, and I will be your host for today. So today is day 8 of our 2-week challenge. So we have completed a lot of challenges over these 2 weeks, and we have only one more day left after today. So let's finish out strong. And yeah, welcome everyone in the chat. Welcome back, Henry, Rosie, Awesome, Sam, Golden Rose. Aw, Henry said, Adobe Live feels like a second family. I love to hear that. It's always so good to see you guys. So, and there we've got Laura. So let me know if you guys have any questions in the chat and I will reply to you. So let's go ahead and hop on back over to Behance. And as always, if you want to follow along with me, I'm on behance.net/challenge/XD. And we can get started and see what today's challenge is. So of course, go ahead and sign up by clicking this big blue button, and that way each day at 8 a.m. you'll get notified that there's a new challenge and that you should hop on back here and see what it is. So of course I'm live every day at 2 p.m. Pacific, and let's scroll on down here to see what we've got. So yesterday we worked on those budgeting apps and we did a fun auto animate graph. So if you want to see what everyone was working on, you can check in Behance or you can check on Discord, and we'll hop in there in just a sec. And today we're going to work on a yearly planner. So design a digital planner for the desktop, and we're going to allow users to add events using hover triggers to create a hover effect. So it'll look a little something like this. So this is what we're going to be creating. And basically, whenever you hover over one of your events on your calendar, you'll see some more details kind of pop out. And if you want to, this was a little extra thing if you want to hover on something like that, or hover on just other elements. Literally, you could add hover to anything like this button, or the search kind of pops out, or the drop down, anything you want to. So we're gonna have some fun today working on that hover trigger. And of course, if you want to grab that starter file, you can grab it by hitting get started, and then it will download for you right down there. And as always, if you want to go back and rewatch any of these videos, you can always do that just by hitting watch video on any of these. So also, if you want to share your work at the end of this stream, or after you're done with your work to get feedback, you can, and you can sign up on our Discord. So this is our Discord, bit.ly/XD Discord, if you want to sign up there, and I'll open it up and we can see what it looks like if you have never joined before. So this is the XD Discord. I see we have a very neat new, they're making some changes. We've got a cover photo up here. Awesome. So yeah, if you want to look through and see what some other folks are designing, check in this current challenge channel right here. And we're always giving you guys feedback if you want it. And I will look at some of these towards the end of the stream. So be sure if you're sharing on Behance to add the keyword XD Daily Challenge. That way I can find your work and share it. So this is the starter file that you'll get. You will not have all of these colors and everything because you obviously can come up with your own colors, but feel free to use this to kind of use as a jumping off point. So hover. This is also going to be in this component states over here. So we did component states a few days ago, or was it yesterday? Yeah, it was a few days ago. So this is also where hover is. So I'll show you how to do that today. And with hover triggers, obviously you can really only do that on desktop. So I encourage you, if you are going to do the hover effect, to not do mobile. I did think these were nice examples though, with like the list view of the dates kind of listed out like that. Or if you want to do more of like a month view like this, that would be fine too. But just list out some of the events in your planner. But obviously you don't have a mouse on your phone, only your thumbs, so can't really have hover on that. But of course the resource booklet, you can hop through some of those tabs if you want to check that out. And today's tip. So really you just want to consider what information is the most important thing. So what's important enough to be included on the first level, or what should be a level deeper in the pop-up box. So if something's a little bit too detailed, like all of that information that I showed, like under here, maybe it's like who's coming to the event or what you should bring to the event, something like that. That's not necessarily something that we want to clutter up with being on the front page. So yeah, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. So here I've already just, for the sake of time, already completed the left sort of panel. So we've got our different kind of calendars grouped by color, and then we've got our month view of January. So it's still January. I know, I feel like January's been going so fast, but yet so slow. I don't know. Anyway, so let's add the header up here on the top left, and I'm just going to add a lot of negative space here today, so keeping it pretty minimal. Don't want any users to, you know, be stressed out when they're looking at their calendar. And the font I'm using is, I really like this one, Yrsa, I think it is, YRSA. It's one of my new favorites. Okay, and then below that we can just add horizontally the days of the week. So Monday the 11th, and we need these to be a lot smaller. So I'll say 18, I think is good. And then Tuesday the 12th, and maybe I'll make Monday darker if that's like the day that we're starting on or the day that it is. Wednesday the 13th, and then we've got Thursday the 14th. And actually you don't really need to worry too much about spacing these out perfectly, because we can do that automatically at the end, and I'll show you how to do that. Saturday the 16th, and then Sunday the 17th. Okay, so let's grab all of those, and wherever you want your beginning and your end words to start and end, just drag that like this. I would drag over here and then select all of them. And then you can come over here and you can do this distribute horizontally. So it's pretty subtle, but basically if you have a bunch of things kind of like this and you group all of them, then it just spaces them all perfectly for you. I use that a lot actually. And then on our XY axis, we're gonna do the time, just going down. So 8 o'clock, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm just adding that 0 in front of the ones that only have like one number, just so we keep the spacing kind of more even. And I'm gonna space these out a little bit more. I'll just do till like 4 p.m. and then I think it'll cut off. Okay, so again, keeping this super clean, lots of padding on the top and the bottom and everything. And actually, let's move this up a bit and give this a little bit more padding right there. Okay, yes. All right, just seeing if anyone has any questions. Welcome in everyone. Richard, long time no see, I feel like, Richard. Bruce, Sydney, awesome. Great to see you guys virtually again. Okay, and then below that, let's just add some dotted lines, just kind of next to each number. And I will make this brown, sort of brown tone. Give it a dash over here. Let me zoom in a bit so we can see a little more. And the gap. Maybe a little smaller dash, just one. Okay. And we can barely see that, so let's move it up to 2. Okay, and then we can just do a repeat grid on this. So let's drag this down right there, just at each of these numbers. Okay, that looks good. A little bit up. Okay, Now, let's say we want to be able to see this by day or week or month. So we'd probably want to add a drop down, maybe up here somewhere. So let's do that right here. Just gonna add a box. And we did this the other day. So you guys could go back to that day and just see exactly how we did that if you missed it. So let's bring this border opacity down a touch. And then of course we need the drop down arrow. I've got an arrow somewhere here. And then I'll just copy one of this bits of text and we'll say, right now it's by week or week view. And I'll make this black. Okay, and we can group those. All right, so pretty clean. And what I really want to kind of pop out here is the actual events. So that's why I'm not adding a ton of other colors everywhere else, because I think that would kind of make it a little too busy. So let's add our first event, and that can just be on Tuesday right here. I'll just say it's like from 8 to 9 p.m. Round those corners a bit. And I'm going to use these colors that I've already selected. Like I said, super bright. I want this to be the main focal point. And let's give this just a little image right here. Okay, check in the chat. Let's see. Picket10 editor asked, can you make a website on this software? Yeah, so basically everything besides coding, so designing and prototyping, you can do on XD. Okay, and then let's add a blue icon. Let's say this is like a school event, so I'll add this cute little book. And then let's add the text. So we'll make this white so we can see it a little bit better. And this will be big test coming up, school test, and whatever the calendar is. So this will be school. We can make that a little bit smaller. And usually when I'm doing two bits of text right next to each other, I'll make one kind of bigger and a little bit more bolder, and the other one will be like an accent, and I'll usually bring down that opacity a little bit just so we have some contrast and we know exactly what to look at first. And yeah, it's just all about the contrast, you know? Like, what do you want to look at first, second, third, all of that. Okay, so we've got our little group, our event with all of our grouped elements. And now we can come over here and make this a component. So you already know how to do that. We did this the other day. Just press that plus button. And then, like I already mentioned, if this is the main component, you'll see this little diamond in the top left will be green. And if it's an instance, so if we copy and paste this as many times as we want, this will be an instance and it will not be filled in green. So just a little thing right there. So if I change this color to purple or whatever, the rest of those instances would also change. But if I change an instance, so a copied component to a different color, they would all not change. So little difference there. Okay, so we've got our default state, which is just nothing pressed, nothing selected. So let's go ahead and add another state. And usually, even though this is the default state and it is like a valid state, I'll usually do another just like closed state. Even though that's the same thing, just to kind of keep them all nice and tidy, and I can rename this to whatever I want. Default state you cannot rename. So let's make our hover state. So you could just press hover state. That's already an option, which is nice. And now I want to bring in, let's see, I've got this little pop-up, might be a little hard to see, this little pop-up menu. And this is where I want to add all my details. So here I will just add some text. We'll say something like big test. Just kind of repeat that name right there. We'll give some more detail. So what you need to bring to the test, something like that. let's bring this down. Let's see, 15. That will work. Let's see. Don't forget to study and bring your pen and paper. And this is way too much spacing. Let's bring this down a lot more. Okay. And maybe this is like a little bit more text like that. Okay. And then of course we need the time. So what time is the event? Let's put that on the top right. And this is 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And this could also be a little bit smaller. Because again, we want this to be the main focus in this little drop down. And then lastly, maybe we just add a little circle to just kind of reiterate whatever this calendar is. Or maybe you could, you know, use another drop down here and change the calendar from school to something else. School calendar. Okay, so now let's go ahead and group all of this together. That looks pretty good for our little drop down. And so we have our hover state and we have our close state. So if you make any adjustments to either one of those states, or if you add more, you can add as many more as you want, but make sure that you have whichever one you're editing selected. So we're selecting our hover state, and I'm just gonna cut this or copy it and double click in here. So this is a group, so we need to double click and then Command V to paste it in. And you can, you know, bring this wherever you want. We'll just kind of line it up right there. And now, if we were to preview right now, we need to bring this back to the closed state. Otherwise it will start on our hover state, and we don't want that. So we need to first hop into the prototype tab, and over here in the components, just select that closed state. And then under interaction, we just need to add our hover. So the hover trigger, so just when we move our mouse over it, it should do something. That's the trigger. And then under the action, we've got auto animate, or you could do trigger, doesn't really matter. It's pretty quick for this one anyway. And for the destination, it should be hover state. And I would recommend for hover to keep the duration pretty quick, since we don't want this to take too long, obviously. And yeah, let's go ahead and preview this. Okay, preview, and boom, we got that hover. Very nice. So just bring your mouse over whatever element you want, and there we go. So let's see, let's just make a few more of these. Let's say one on Wednesday, and whenever you make a new component, you always need to right click and do ungroup component, and then regroup it again. Otherwise, you will just have that same component. So we don't want to edit this blue component because that maybe has different colors or different interactions or something. So this one can be maybe green, and we can add this little puzzle. This can be like game night or something. Game night. And this can be the friends calendar. Make this a little bit longer. And let's copy and paste another. Let's say down here, this can be our orange calendar. And this can be sports, something like that. We'll change this to sports and basketball game. And again, make this a little bit bigger. Or if you just wanted to do an ellipse, like the ... that would be fine too. Yes. And then maybe just two more. So let's change this to light blue. And we can bring in this little laptop. So this one can be working. Work. And this can be UX meeting. And maybe one more. And so all of these can have different components or different hover states. So if you want these to, you know, do different things whenever you hover over them, you can do that. And this one can be a different calendar, maybe exercise. I feel like right now my calendar is not even this colorful. It's just like work and like working out. I don't know. There's just not that much exciting things going on these days, you know? Anyway, so you can do a hover for all of these or just like that one. Let me show you though how I did that fun little hover on this guy. So, oh, I already did it. Let me ungroup this so I can just show you. Okay, so we would make this in component just like we did for this one. And we'll add a closed state or static, I guess. And we'll add a hover state. And for hover state, what I want to do is just double click in there and just like rotate this around a little bit. And then in prototype, tab, let's come over here to closed. And again, just do the same thing. Add a hover, over hover trigger, and the action can be auto animate. And just make sure you link that destination to whichever state you want up here. So the state will be our hover state. And let's preview that. I don't know, I just think that's so fun. It's a simple little thing, you know, but sometimes it's the simple things in life. And if you see something like this where the green part is overlapping over the blue of our hover, just make sure you come over here. Let's go into the design tab and just right click and do bring to front. And then it'll be over the whatever's below it. So yeah, that is how you do hover. And again, like I mentioned, if you wanted to do, let me go back to my previous one. If you wanted to do hover over literally anything on this page, like this one, you know, button, or if the search bar kind of flies out, something like that, or if you hover over your notifications and it rings a little, you know, kind of jingles. Yeah, just be creative with it. I'm excited to see what you come up with. Cool, so let's go ahead and Command S to save, and let's hop over to Behance, making sure there's any questions. Okay, Richard said cool animation. Thanks, Richard. You guys are the best, always so supportive. I love it. Okay, so let's look at some of you guys' work from the past challenges. And before I forget, don't forget to add your keyword XD Daily Challenge in your project if you're sharing it on Behance. So that's in settings and it's under project tags. Just add that keyword XD Daily Challenge. Or you can share it on Discord, whatever you prefer, doesn't matter. But I usually look on Behance for the stream. Okay, so I've got a few pulled up that I kind of liked. So this one is by Orly Ooh. Nice. This was the reading tracker. Wow, these mock-ups are like so profesh. I love it. The dedication for the daily creative challenges is just amazing. Okay, so this was the day that we did 3D transform on our book app. And then we also did 3D transform to see the pages kind of swiping through. So let's take a look at this. We got settings. Very nice. Oh, changing the background color there. Awesome. Love all those details. Okay, and then we just got a regular auto animate swipe. Very nice. I love that book animation. That looks so great. Thanks for sharing that. Let's take a look at, this was the one from yesterday, and this one is by Annie Yang. You guys know Annie always does amazing designs. Okay. And we got our auto animate. Oh, you even did the scrolling up and down auto animate. Very nice. Going the extra mile. I love it. And then we see the little pie chart right there moving. Yeah, this is awesome. Great job on the interactions. Love that. Thank you, Annie, for sharing if you're watching. And then we've got this one by Ilham. Let's take a look. Budgeting, all design. Yeah, so this was the budget one from yesterday as well. Scroll on down here and see what we got. Okay. So we've got our months up here. Ooh, I love that. That little scroll down of the notification. Very nice. And I think I missed some things happening down here. Okay, so we choose the drop down. Oh, I saw the auto animate for our lines moving there. Very nice. And we've got our interactions going on there. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And maybe just like one more on Discord. I feel like I usually just check out Behance, but let's look at Discord as well, for the stream at least. Okay, so this one is from Anuya. This was the plant planner, but she just changed it to be a cafe, which I love. I love when you guys kind of take it, use your just creative ideas and kind of take it a different direction. So we've got our drop down. Oh my gosh, that looks so delicious. Those macaroons. Oh man. Strawberry cupcakes. Very nice. Awesome. And we've got our drop down. Great job. Okay guys, that is about all the time that I have left for today, unfortunately. So be sure to post your designs in Discord and Behance if you want some feedback. And don't go anywhere because in about 5 minutes, we have the draw along with Kyle T. Webster. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.